I too wrote out some comments, but I don't think in light of the evening and the hour, I'm gonna read them all. There are a couple of things I want to reiterate because I think it speaks to how serious Culver City and this council and former councils see this as an issue. We have repeatedly demonstrated our commitment to maintaining the health, safety, and well-being of the community in and around our community, not just in Culver City. We have invested substantial resources, i.e. attorney's fees, ensuring and demanding that we have the highest regulatory protections for operations that occur in our front yard and in our backyard. In large part due to the efforts of Culver City, the largest urban oil field in the country is also said to be the most regulated urban oil field in the country. That isn't enough. There are the county CSD may be adequate for the county, but we don't believe that it's adequate in all respects to Culver City. We would not have embarked on that investment if we didn't feel strongly that it was an issue that resonated throughout the community. But the questions that have been raised about the topic of hydraulic fracturing are ones that we need answers to. There are at least as many questions that have come forward as there are answers. I can't keep track of the back and forth. For every point that is raised with regard to the perils of fracking, the next day we get a new study that shows that there are no perils, or the perils are overstated. We're told on the one hand that we have the right to regulate. The next breath we're told that as soon as the state takes an action, we're preempted and we can't regulate. We need the time to be able to analyze the facts. We need the time to be able to make quality, analytical, sound policy decisions. And I think this is a council that's determined to go through that process and make it happen. I believe in terms of direction to staff, I think that we certainly want to demand PXP that they provide us, whether it's whatever the strongest means necessary is to gain the information, whether it's by subpoena or otherwise. We need to know what's going on in the oil field so that we can assess the nature of the risks and what we can do to mitigate those risks that are going to come in the immediate future. But the process of revising our drilling ordinance has gotten to the point where we really need to move forward, and let's do that as quickly as humanly possible. Michael, you look like you want to say something.
Yes, I wanted to add that possibly if you would add to the instructions a letter to DOGGR and with regard to the regulations that they're creating, that the questions that we've had here today, comments we've had, you can leave out the part that I said that I didn't learn anything from you. Just to be nice to them. But if you could, to the Department of Conservation, send them the questions we've had. Specifically, I would also like to know if a chemical marker can be put in to the water that they're using. So if we do find it in our bay or in any other water source where it's been claimed it can never get to, that I'd like to know where it came from. So if that could be added.
Is there any reason not to? I don't see anybody saying that we shouldn't do that. We may want to consider, to the extent that we have not already provided the information, there's Sydney is still here, but to the extent that we have not provided the information to Assemblymember Holly Mitchell at the June 12 workshop On behalf of the city, we provided a half a dozen suggestions as to what the regulations that DOGGR is considering ought to be. And just for their edification, perhaps we should provide those points to them as well, so they get a better sense as to what we mean by comprehensive regulations.
And would you like us to CC her on any letter that we send to the Department of Conservation as well?
Absolutely.
And Senator Price, okay.
Okay, anything else? Certainly not with a whimper, did we? Thank you all for coming this evening. Of course, you will be apprised by email, Pony Express, and whatever other means we utilize when the issue is going to come back. Again, we value your input, we value your participation. We certainly encourage you to stay involved with us. Please feel free to provide staff with any information, whether it's documentation or resources that we may be able to research ourselves. Thank you all for coming this evening.